You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Right, Chris.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world watching us. I hope you've had a fantastic day, or about to have a fantastic day if you're probably somewhere in Australia and just waking up. How are we all? I hope you're all well. We are, of course, here live and kicking for the Predictions League Game Week 19. They come thick and fast for us here in the Championship. But before I get started, please make sure you're doing what that lovely banner says at the bottom. Make sure you're hitting a like on the video. You're sharing our lovely content around to get other people involved. And as a few of you already are in there, make sure you're dropping the comments. Get along with your predictions down below as the week's gone on. And as I can confirm, John, you're asking if I got my predictions ready. I have them in the group chat, as you know, mate. And yes, I have them there. I'm making sure I don't show them so Chris knows not to copy my homework. And before we get started, if you are new to the channel, of course, and you have just been sent here by one of these lovely people in the comment section or watching along, do hit that subscribe button. And if you want to make sure you never miss another LTID TV1 show, make sure you hit that lovely notification bell. Just make sure you've got it set to all and not personalized or none, because YouTube can't do it right. We've had technical issues today. Surprisingly, it wasn't me. I was early. He was late. It is the hostess was the mostest. You say he's got a face for radio, which is why Dave gave him the job on radio. It is, of course, Chris. Chris, how are you doing, my friend?
I was doing all right until you just knocked my confidence.
Well, it's usually you knocking mine, so I thought I'd change it up.
And yes, I can confirm, everybody, we did have technical problems. A few gremlins, or as we call them, Sheffield Wednesday players got into the system and messed about with me head. So, yes, there we go.
Well, let's hope that scrambled your brain enough to give some wild and wonderful predictions. Just quickly, evening tonight. Yeah, I'd literally just seen a notification, mate. Better late than never. I was thinking who was missing from the list who hadn't got them in, and it turns out you answered that question for me. Better late than never, because you would have missed out on the early kickoff, the late night kickoff.
Nate out because he's doing well.
I hold the power.
Can we just say we've got him in? He was in late. Sorry, Nate, but you're doing too well. You were late, Nate. You don't late, Nate. He was a late Nate. Nate was late, and he can't take part this week. I'm sorry, Nate.
You missed out there, Chris. You had the chance there to have said it's the late Nate show, didn't you? You had the chance to say, "Oh, boo! It's throw the tomatoes at the house."
You've been working with me too long. That's the trouble.
I know. I have. Chris, everybody had a very, very good week. Some better than others. The comebacks on. I had a whopping 14. Although nothing compares to our latest debutant in the league, does it? As you can see there. Now, obviously, Luke and Dave only started last week, but Doug. I mean, you might have to worry about me, but if Dave keeps going the way he started, you could be in trouble, mate. 21 points, the top scorer last week.
I know you're not going to enjoy this, Brad, but that was a quarter of what you predicted in 18 games. He got in one.
I know, that is a scary thought. The joke has become a reality when you said one of these might catch up and overtake me. But I'm hoping, just like some teams in this division, my fortunes have changed and my luck is on the up. Because although he's top of the league, I did score more points than Doug this week. So cue me getting 3 points, Doug getting about 23 this week. But we don't have a double header this week, so we can be a little bit more relaxed. We can take our time a little bit. We're not rushing through a second lot of predictions. It is only game week 19. So without further ado, Chris, because we do have, I mean, you have got 45 minutes, I'll give you 44 minutes to tell me your score predictions for the first one, because we do have the Friday game. And as per, we will skip over the Leicester one and save the best till last, as we would like to say.
I just think
howdy, Ryan.
I just want to leave that prediction table up there a little bit longer because I am still above you at the moment, but only just.
Yes, that's not looking such a healthy as a lead as it was before. I feel like a few more good weeks could see me slowly catch up. It's getting cramped in the middle, isn't it?
At the moment, you haven't got an arrow next to you because you've just basically always been where you are.
I know, it's great. Steady Eddie, they called me. If my mum was to rename me, she wouldn't call me Eddie. She hated that name.
Well, I tell you what, we call you a lot worse when you're not here. But don't worry.
You call me a lot worse when I am here as well. To be honest with you,
Ryan, by the way, he says up the town. I guess he's an Ipswich fan. What a great season you are having. Either that or Shrewsbury, one of the two. But I'm guessing Ipswich. Well done to Ryan. You're having a great season, better than I thought you would do. Mind you, we're doing better than I thought we would do. But well done, Ryan. You're welcome. Nice to see.
Unless you're a Huddersfield Town fan, then commiserations on it not going so well.
I was trying to.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to bring it up while I was right out there. But yeah, if you are an Ipswich fan, you're having a great season. Evening to John, I know you're here. Nate, don't worry, mate. You don't need to renew your passport. It's just an imaginary European spot. We're not going to start playing you against Urzikstan and bloody everything like that next season. But it is nice to say technically you're in the European spots of the
I don't know where he's come from, Nate. He's got has he employed Sam Allardyce or something here, and he's shooting up the table at the
Well, he is. He's definitely playing long ball with his predictions, and they are definitely working. Speaking of the predictions, shall we crack on with it, Chris?
Well, I think you want to, don't you? So I think you must be on a promise. But...
Yeah, I'm not on a promise, but I'm on a good week, so I want to keep that run going. And then next week when I get
normally you want to talk for 20 minutes before we start. How things have changed.
I know, right? It's amazing. I mean, like I said, now it's like I want to enjoy the Championship. Premiership can wait, mate. I'll make the surprise. I'll win this one. Now the comeback's on. We all know what's going to happen. Game week 44, you'll be asking how I did it, and I'll be telling you, well, I'm just the best. But until that happens, we've got, like I said, a little over 40 minutes for this one to go horribly wrong for us both. So Preston are the Friday night game. I'm assuming that's first on your list because these should be in order of kickoff order. So Preston are at home to QPR. Free falling Preston. They get the odd win now, but they're nowhere near the same Preston that started the season, are they, Chris? And they're home to QPR, who I would say is probably a nailed-on result for Preston, but given how dodgy their form, their form is more dodgy than getting a kebab ordered at 3 o'clock in the morning and hoping it doesn't give you the runs the next day. You've got more. So, which way do you see this?
Isn't it?
Anyone eating the dinner right now, I'm sorry if I've put you off your food with that, especially if you're eating a curry, even in Highfields.
Preston are I presume you want me to go first, and you can copy my.
No, Chris. As usual, I have mine written in. Mine are locked in, but I'm not allowing you to know mine to copy it.
I think we should maybe go alternative. I think that's the
Well,
way to
being since it's my league and it's my rules, I will decide if I want to go first or not. How does that sound?
go. Well, I'm going to take your my league, my rules, and I'll see you with it. It's my channel.
Ah, touche. Well, how about this one? How about this one for the starting one? Age
I'll go
before
first.
beauty.
I will go first with this one. It's okay. I think I'm going to shock you here. Preston won. They've won 2 in the last 6. They've lost 3. They started so well. Excuse me. It always goes wrong for them, and they've been up and down. And if they'd have carried on the form they'd started with, they'd been in the playoffs still. Excuse me. They're in 16th in the playoffs. Now, Queen's Park Rangers are actually 18th in the not in the playoffs, in the form guide. So they're only 2 places below QPR. They've got a new manager in. They've won in midweek. They beat Stoke 4-2, but that's their only win in 6. They'd lost 3 of those 6, including the Leicester City game. Oops. Brad went and has come back. Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with us now. I don't know what happened there. Seems to change places as well.
Don't worry. You can move us back. Don't want to sit in your seat too long.
I'm like Sheldon, mate. That's my spot there. That's all right.
There we go. Honestly, he's such a woman. I have to keep him happy. But no, I don't. You went, and then obviously with it bringing you back in.
It's weird. I don't know what happened.
Park, they got a couple of draws though. One was against Rotherham, and one was against Bristol City United, which are doing well themselves. I am going to probably throw a curve ball because I've decided I am dropping that much at the moment that I'm going to have to become Brad, and I'm going to have to really attempt to make some weird and wild predictions. I am going to go. What am I going to go? I'm going to go. Do I go? Do you know what I'm going to go? I'm going to push the boat. I'm going to go for a Desmond.
He's kicking things off with a Desmond.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Well, you see, I'm tempted with a 1-1. Now I'm going to change. Oh God.
I ask a
I'm
simple
going to go 1-1.
question.
That's my final answer. 1-1.
Final answer 1-1. You heard it here first. We nearly started the show off with a Desmond, guys, ladies and gentlemen. We so nearly did, but he battled it because I start calling you Tottenham. I haven't sat on the fence, although you'll probably find out throughout the show there's a few fixtures where I may be a bit more fence city than you this week. We'll soon find out. But I looked at this fixture and I nearly went for the same as you. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Then I looked down the list of fixtures and I thought, God, there's a lot that are hard to choose for. So I said that QPR are going to score 1 goal. But I have gone for a Preston win. I've gone Preston North End 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. That's my prediction for it. That's me locked in.
You want Preston?
I've gone 2-1 to Preston. Yeah, Anthony, you don't want to see it, mate. You're 27th out of 14. You're that bad. I've docked you that many points. FFP. You support that many teams. You got docked points for unfairly supporting 10 teams.
Yes. It's not. Like they're questioning multiple ownership in the Champions League. Well, we're doing the same with multiple supporting in this league, Anthony. John, what an amazing guy John is. I think that man's got brains. I'll tell you.
He's got more brains,
and I'm thinking it again this week.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't got it with me here, but I'm pretty sure John had a decent week. So, John, if I send you a £5, will you send me your predictions for game weeks 20, mate, so I can copy your homework? But there we go. Chris has got his first draw out of the way. Who knew that? Who knew Chris's fence panels FC would go for a draw first up? So we're going to go straight on to the Saturday games. We're going to skip the most important game because we want to save the best till last. It's some yo-yo club playing the best side of the M69, but we like to skip over that for 2 reasons. So we're a Leicester channel and we like to keep you waiting. We are, however, going to stay in the Midlands technically, if I'm right in thinking, because we're going to go and discuss Birmingham Rotherham, or have you got something different
No,
on
I've
top
got
there?
Birmingham Rotherham.
Yeah, Birmingham, the most depressing accent I've ever heard, apart from Scousers, but for two different reasons. They actually sound like if they won the lottery, they sound like their cat got run over. But they are the mighty Wayne Rooney army. They are up against strugglers, Rotherham. Fellow strugglers at the moment, and Rotherham are a little bit worse than Birmingham. Birmingham did pick up a notable win, though, did they not, over the last two fixture lists? I'm pretty sure they got a win in there. I could be wrong.
Wednesday, which is
Oh,
on.
well, I would say that's not difficult, but apparently it really is.
Yes, it is.
Are they on the upturn? Is this a fixture where maybe Rooney finally gets it in together for Birmingham, or do you see another struggle here?
I've got to be honest with you. Look, I'll read the things out, so I might as well go first. Birmingham are in 22nd place in the form table. They did win that one, but it was only against Sheffield Wednesday. And like you, I would have said, well, it was only Sheffield Wednesday, but apparently beating Sheffield Wednesday is not for everybody, is it? Rotherham were 24th. They haven't got a win in 6. I know I'm going to save my prediction, but I'm going to lock it in.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll be kind to you, Chris, because I'm in the Christmas spirit. You can go through all your facts and figures. I will tell you now. I have gone for the same score that you've predicted for Preston QPR for this one. I've locked in a 1-1.
Wow! Thank you, God. Thank you. I so nearly went for a draw.
You still could. You could go for a Desmond. You could still.
Look, no, don't go for a draw because you have. I've actually gone 1-0 to Birmingham.
He's gone 1-0 to Birmingham. There you are, Chris. That does mean that I'm feeling Christmassy.
To Blackburn last time out, Birmingham, but I mean Rotherham can't score Rothwell at the moment.
But not everybody can beat Rotherham, so you never know. They throw out a surprise. Maybe this is where they get the surprise.
Yes, yeah. Birmingham to win 3-1, says John. Mm-hmm. And Scott says, didn't realise you was doing the next lot of fixtures also.
We're not. This is this week's fixtures, Scott. Scott, you messaged me earlier with your predictions. Didn't know why. I didn't know if Chris forgot to tell me to add you to the league or something. But you messaged yours. I didn't get a chance to read them. I thought these are fixtures that have already happened. I'm sure they were. This is this weekend's fixtures, Scott, that we're doing. So, have you taken a nap and woken up 2 weeks back? I don't know. But this is this weekend's fixtures, mate. I don't know what to tell you.
But if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. Just message Brad and he'll give you all the rules and regulations. But we don't take the league predictions in here. We include it if you say it, but we take off what you've written. But you'd have to you'll forego tonight's and you'll have to join from tomorrow's. We have to get them over to Brad tonight. So message him after the show if you want. But yeah, this is this weekend's fixtures.
Yeah, so maybe look at what you've messaged me, Scott, and see if you predicted the right scores.
He got 12 results right last week.
Oh yeah, he got maximum points as well.
Well done, Scott. I mean, that's where we've been going wrong. We should be predicting last week's after they've played.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to start doctoring mum from game week 1. You won't believe how many points I've got.
We had to have a recheck. But there we go.
Wow. Now we've got that out of the way for you, and you've gone Birmingham 1-0. I've gone for a draw. Yep. We move on to Hull City. Hull City. I say Hull City, tongue in cheek, but they've not been that awe-inspiring, have they? Again, a little bit like Preston, but slightly better, I would say, in the fact that they had a.
Hull are in the playoffs at the moment.
Yeah, they are at the moment. I know that
they are up and down again. Once you get to 4th, those last 3 places are changing every single week.
Yeah, they are, and that's why I say they're a little bit Preston-like. Just obviously not as terrible as Preston, who are in free fall. But they are at home to Watford, and Watford are a side that just seemed like they found a little bit of form, a little bit of turn the corner. And again, this proves how difficult this division is to get out of, because you could probably say anyone from 5th down to probably 11th, maybe even lower, is a win or two away from that playoffs, and a loss or two away from dropping, vice versa sort of thing. But it's Hull at home to Watford. We've got lots of fixtures to get through, but if you look through the remaining fixtures this week, it's probably one of the toughest weekends for me. Now, I went first in the last game, Chris, so I'm going to let you shine with your little statistics and your little 6-game figures, and then I want you to tell me your predictions.
Well, me and John, I think we're brothers from a different mother. I mean, Hull are sat in 6th. Watford, we made it hard work to get past them, didn't we, in fairness? The
True.
penalty probably made the result look better than it actually was. But again, 1-0, we still get 3 points. Watford are sat in 13th. On the form side, Hull are 4th in the form table. They've actually only lost 1 in the last 6. Now, Watford, meanwhile, are 6th in the form table. So it's 4th versus 6th. They've won 3. They've only lost 1. So they basically have got exactly the same. Played 6, won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. They're both exactly the same. There's not a lot of goals being conceded either, although it's not so bad score. I'm actually going to just slightly disagree with John. John's gone for Desmond. I've gone for 1-1.
He's locked in 1-1. Chris.
You've gone for a draw, I know.
I have gone for a draw.
I know I'm risking it going for a draw because you said you'd gone for so many, but I've got to...
You are risking it. And I would just like to say that you're going to be thankful. You're going to be thankful that you didn't copy John's homework, because I have copied John's homework. I've gone for the first Desmond of the evening. I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
A 2-2. Wow. Phew. I was close, but I'm thinking they're not really... They are scoring, but they're not conceding. It could be a boring 0-0, but it looks like it could be a good game, to be honest with you.
Well, knowing our luck, it'll be the bore on ITV4 and it'll be 0-0. So that won't matter to us too much. Now then, there was an Ipswich fan. We're assuming it was an Ipswich fan in earlier. If he's still around, it'd be interesting to see what his predictions are. Although they did beat Millwall in the midweek, up until that game, Ipswich had been stuttering. And they're playing Coventry City, who ironically, up until the last few games, had been stuttering themselves, but have found themselves in a little bit of form. This one could be an interesting one. And with Leicester's questionable form, I think it's fair to say at the moment, this is a really big opportunity for Ipswich. But we have seen what Ipswich have done when big opportunities have been presented with them to get themselves to the top of the Championship. Are they going to stumble over the hurdle again, Chris, and miss an opportunity here, Ipswich, and Coventry do us a favour? Or is this a case of Ipswich are going to get out of that bad little sort of mini bad run they're on and start to put runs to a nice winning run together for themselves? It's Ipswich versus Coventry. Chris, I'm not going to tell you my prediction, but I'm going to tell you I haven't gone for a draw. How's that sound? Is that fair? Is that fair for this one? Because this one's like rival club. The second, I don't want to give too much away, but I haven't gone for a draw.
I want to know if John's copying my homework, because I think Ipswich, I mean, let's be honest with you, fair play to them. I did not. I think I had them mid-table at the end of the season when we did our pre-season predictions. I am surprised how well they're doing, but I'm not, because they've got a great manager there. A manager, I'm sorry about this, Ryan, but a manager that I would have been quite happy had we got him to come to Leicester. He was one of the two that I wanted. ahead of Enzo before we knew Enzo was going to come. I wanted, the Ipswich manager and the Blackburn manager were my two choices. So they're doing great, and I like Ipswich. I've always liked Ipswich, and I would love to see them. If they were the team that went up alongside us, I'd be very, very happy. Now, for me, you see, Ipswich, they're down to 7th in the form table. They have stuttered a little bit. They had the chance to put a little bit of daylight between themselves and us. They didn't. They only drew 2-2 with Birmingham and 2-2 with Rotherham. Like we say, not beating Rotherham's not for everybody. But it's how you react, isn't it, when you've had those results? And they beat Swansea 3-2, and it was obviously a tough game for them. Okay, they lost to West Brom, which was a surprise to us all. Again, missing a chance really to put extra pressure on us. But they then went and beat Millwall 3-1. So they react very well to the setbacks. Coventry are down in 14th in the form table. They've lost, they lost to Rotherham, for God's sake. They lost to West Brom. They lost to Preston. They drew with Stoke, but they've had 2 wins. Beat Millwall 3-0, and they beat your favourite team, Plymouth, 1-0. However, I think Ipswich are going to be too strong for Coventry, and I've agreed with John. I think, John, have you got a camera here somewhere, John? But I have actually gone for a 3-1 Ipswich win.
It's gone for a 3-1 Ipswich win. Sorry. I wish I had the buttons to press it, and I'm sure you've got it somewhere. But is Jeremy Clarkson around anywhere, mate?
He isn't, unfortunately.
He isn't. Oh, well, that'd be a lovely video for me to get you to play, because let me just see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only taken 4 games for it to happen, mate. But as they say in bingo, it's called a full house. I have also gone for Ipswich Town 3, Coventry City 1.
God help me. Sorry, Ryan, you're going to get stuff now. That's true. But Craig's gone. Let's just catch up. Craig's gone 2-2. Ryan, the Ipswich fan, I'm guessing he is. He's gone 3-2 Ipswich. John, as I say, agreed with me and you as it happens, 3-1. Ryan says, need to forget the Baggies game. It was an off game. That performance won't happen again. I'm sure it will. Anthony, Ipswich will finish in the playoffs. They might get beat in the final, though. And he's gone for a draw. And Big Brother is watching you. I will hope not, because he's about 300 miles away at the moment. But he surprised me and sneaked in my house without telling me. And he said we concede a lot at home. Oh, now you're saying that, I'm going for 3-4 to Coventry. Could have said that before, Ryan. Come on.
I know he's holding out on us here. We go on to another chasing team. Second favourites behind us, or were they third favourites? I don't know. They were second or third favourites at the start of the season.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll stick with second. Second favourites behind us to get automatic promotion. Or maybe it was second favourites to win the league. Doesn't really matter. 1 and 2 get us.
The league, and Southampton were third.
Well, there you go. Then second favourites to win the league. They didn't start off that well, though. They had a lot of toxicity to clear out. They had a lot of things to settle down and get in the groove. But since they've got in the groove, they've really started to prove their worth. A lot of opposition fans, when they play Leeds, are saying that they're starting to really play like a team that has a bit more about them than most Championship sides in terms of quality. Things that get said a lot about us when we play them in this division, but they are against your and now I know you've said that you wanted the Ipswich manager and that you wanted the Blackburn manager, but we all know really that Leeds are playing against your favourite manager's club, Middlesbrough. Michael Carrick was your first choice. Guys, he'll deny it until the cows come home, but he was messaging me.
That's what we'll do. It's easy to shut him up, you know. And you can stay on that side now.
Okay, fine. I will stay here. I will. No, I won't. I'll move over here so he can stay there, and he can stay there and do as he's told. He can do as he's told. Stay on your side. See, we both have the pat. I'm going to get kicked out again to move me back. He's just done that. No.
I can do it
No,
quicker than you.
Right. Okay. We'll behave. Sorry, teacher. We'll behave. I can hear I can hear them in the comments say, "Behave, you two. You sit next to each other for every lesson. We'll separate you." It is Leeds. They better carry on, Chris. I don't remember that Carry On TV show. They better carry on, Chris. I don't remember that one.
That one was, yeah.
Leeds are at home to Middlesbrough. A little bit of resurgence for Middlesbrough until they cocked up against was it Preston? I think they cocked up against. They lost 3-2.
No,
I always got
4-0.
No, it was Preston they beat. It was Bristol City they lost 3-2 to.
Yeah.
But they are at home. They are away to Leeds United, who are now starting to really churn through the gears and looking like a team that if anybody's going to upset Leicester or Ipswich and knock one of us off our pedestal, it could possibly be them. It's your turn to go first on this one, Chris, because no, it isn't. It's my turn to go first, isn't it? I've gone for a bit of a shock. I've backed you.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right? I've actually backed your beloved Michael Carrick to stir up a shock to the system. I think.
Can you hear him, everybody? Because I can't hear.
See, jealousy won't get you nowhere. The truth comes out. You're making it too easy for me to keep doing this every week now. But I think the cockiness of Leeds fans after they beat us will come crashing back down to earth now, and now they'll take a nasty shock. Because if the worst was to happen against West Brom, I think they'll get mouthy, and Leeds fans will say, "Yeah, we'll win. We're closing the gap. We're coming for you," just like they did after the beat us, and look how well that worked out for them. And I've gone for a Middlesbrough 2-0 win. So, Chris, tell me why I'm wrong and why Leeds aren't going to lose the game.
Oh, you're wrong because you're Brad.
Well, yeah. There is that.
John said there when I took you out about time, Chris.
Charming, John. Right, that's it. Wait there. -30 for John. Just write that down.
Leeds and Southampton, well, are up in the top three. Leeds are third in the form table. Like you say, had they got things right at the start of the season, I think they would have been a lot higher than they are now, as in the top two. They've only lost one, but they did lose to Stoke, which was a surprise. But then they beat Huddersfield, beat ourselves, beat Plymouth, your favourite team, drew with Rotherham, third chance away there, and beat Swansea. Middlesbrough, and I did not want Carrick. A lot of Leicester players were shouting for Carrick because he'd had something like 20 good games. I did not. I know he's trying to deflect the fact that I let his favourite manager go past, Wayne Rooney, and didn't say a word because he would have loved Wayne Rooney to have come to Leicester, if I remember.
Right.
It was Frank Lampard you wanted, wasn't it? That was who you wanted as Leicester manager. Yes, I remember now. But no,
I could say something, but you got a restriction ban the last time I swore.
I know. Well, you did have a bit of a rant, in fairness, on that show. I don't think if I'd got a bleeper, I could have pressed it often enough and quick enough. Middlesbrough are ninth in the form table. They've lost. Well, they've won, lost, drawn, won, lost, won. They can't get a run together, I'm afraid. So I've got a Leeds winning 2-1. To put the pressure back on this.
2-1 for Leeds. I'm really tempted throughout this show at some point to give you my prediction and then tell you that I lied to you when you predict something the same, but it won't happen. It won't happen. Yeah. Now going on to
Leeds. Ryan's gone 3-1 to Borough.
Yeah.
And Scott said he thinks you've been copying his homework.
That's a scary thought.
He did say there in hindsight should have got Rooney. Well, that's what Brad wanted. But, unfortunately, we were both disappointed.
Yes, we were very much where we were sad.
Or Rooney, I know which one we'd have both sooner had.
John, I've already docked you 50 points. I'll dock you more if I have to. For that slanderous comment.
Actually, just to answer Anthony's question, Anthony, there was a fucking camera in here. I'll tell you. He is actually just saying to me, "Are you doing a Christmas quiz?" And I actually only just thought about that today, that I might do one. Anthony, if I do a Christmas quiz, are you up for doing it again? And Brad, are you? It's nothing to do with football. It's just general questions.
No.
No, your general knowledge.
No. My general knowledge is worse than my football knowledge, it turns out. So it'd be even worse for me.
Jesus. Well, what if we have a quiz just on number of offsides a season? Well, how about that? I think that's a no.
Anyway, so we don't need Chris for his predictions after making that slanderous Adebayor offside comment.
I know how to get him.
You do, you certainly do. Moving on to Millwall versus Sunderland. Two teams that I'd be honest with you, I don't really care for too much. Millwall are in that category for me of teams that are stale in the Championship. They kind of stink the division out because they never, ever, ever get out of it. And they never, ever, in any sense, they don't get promoted and they don't go down. Glazed over. Bless me. Excuse me. It's all right. It's not live. We'll edit that out.
Not Christine.
Well, yeah. And they're playing Sunderland, and obviously, it's just a weird one to call this, Chris. I can't imagine. I just feel like both teams' forms is uninspiring, and both the league positions. Maybe Sunderland are a bit higher than I'm thinking, but if you were to ask me where they were in the league, I'd say I don't know, 12th and 14th. So that might give you an inkling of what I've done with this result, just to give you a little bit of Christmas bonus. But Chris, Millwall versus Sunderland, what's the facts, what's the figures, and more importantly, what have you gone for?
Is it me first this time?
It is now because I've just decided.
Okay.
No, it is because I said the Middlesbrough one first.
Okay, no, that's fine. Millwall, I hate Millwall. I don't know how anyone, and they know nobody likes them outside of Millwall. I went past there when I went down in London to see my daughter, and we went to see ABBA, and we actually passed the Millwall station, and it was like going over somebody's grave. Just everybody on the train just went. But they are 21st. They've only in the form. They've only won one in the last four, and that was Sheffield Wednesday. Beating them is obviously for everybody but us. And Sunderland, I don't mind Sunderland, if I'm honest with you. I'd like to see them go up and do well. They are 13th. They've won 2 in the last 6. 2 reasons I hate Millwall. One is the fact that it's Millwall, and the second is the fact that they had Dennis Wise as the manager for a while, and he's a little see you next Tuesday. So I don't like. There's a lot of reasons, and that's just the 2 main reasons. So I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland purely. I'm getting into my Steve Lynix mode and going the fact that I hate them. I'm not going to predict them to win.
Well, I've kind of done the same, but
sorry, John. I didn't see that. He's gone. Yeah, he's gone 2-1 to Sunderland as well.
I say what, you two should move in together. Scary how prediction lie. Well, I've gone for my 3rd draw of the show, and it's also my 2nd Desmond because I just find I looked at the fixture and went, I don't really care who wins. I know it's a prediction league and I should probably try and make some effort to predict one, but I went 2-2. It was one of them. I just wrote.
He loves Millwall.
Don't even. No, my granddad was a West Ham fan. You couldn't say that about me if you tried. I hate them, but it's dull as dishwater.
That's how you do like them, obviously.
No, I just remember Sunderland bottling against us in the 90s when we got to the Worthington Cup final. So I remember that time with Phillips and Niall Quinn, but since then they've both been dull as dishwater. I probably should have got 0-0, but I know this Championship division that rarely happens, so I went 2-2 in the end. Right, anyway, we shall move on. to a place that is very close to a place that is close to my heart in down south areas, but doesn't know the difference between a slob of mush and a true traditional Cornish pasty. I am, of course. No, bloody won't. No, I won't. No. It's Plymouth at home to Stoke. The Argyle versus the Potters, as it is. Never. I shall never. I shall die on this hill, as a Nippon once said. I shall die on this hill. It's Plymouth Argyle at home to Stoke City. Yep. I'm gonna rip the band-aid off. I know they lost to Coventry, but I always think if Plymouth are going to stay up the season, I like Plymouth to stay up the season. I like a team like Plymouth. Because it's such, I don't know, maybe it's just a name, Plymouth. It just doesn't sound like it should be a place that anyone can live in, but there we are. I've gone 3-1 Plymouth. So there you are. You can change your score prediction from 3-1 Plymouth now, Chris. Don't worry about it. What's the facts?
I did. Well, my first thought wasn't far off that, but looking at yeah, I'd like to see Plymouth stay up. I didn't think they would, if I'm honest with you. I thought they would struggle out of the three that came up, but obviously it's Sheffield Wednesday that are doing that. Plymouth are in 12th in the form table. They've won 2 in the last 6. Actually having beaten Sunderland 2-0 a couple of last weekend, and then they lost to Coventry midweek. Stoke are actually in 11th in the form table, so 1 place above them. They beat Leeds. They beat Middlesbrough, but then drew with Cardiff and Coventry, and they lost to Blackburn and Queen's Park Rangers. I'm actually going to go for my first Desmond here. I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh, he's going for 2-2. For those that keep track of the Chris's Desmond counter, we should get one of them. We should pop it in the corner where you can add it up live. We need a Desmond counter for Chris. It's taken...
You've got 1 Desmond already.
I've got 2 Desmonds already. I went 2-2 for Watford Hall.
So yes, that's my first, and that was after you'd already got 2.
I'm trying to carry the weight to make up for you with your lack of Desmonds this week. I'm very disappointed. Desmond would be disappointed to you too, God rest him. But you have gone 2-2. I have locked it in. I can't wait for Plymouth to stuff Stoke 3-1 now, and you wish you'd copy my homework more. Oh, fuck's sake. I've just seen who's agreed with me. Can I change my predictions? Is it too late? Can I have a vote? Can everybody in their predictions please allow me to change? Oh, no, you want to change yours. Sorry, I got it the wrong way round. You seen who's gone for Brad's Desmond counter? Yeah, where's yours? Where's yours?
Sunderland to get back to winning ways and gone 2-1.
Yeah. How many times?
Plymouth. John's gone 2-1 to Plymouth.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. I looked at the prediction to realise it's the one you just said. Are you sure, Chris?
Anthony's gone 2-2.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to stay with your Desmond? Because Anthony's gone 2-2.
Well, I mean, Anthony, Brad, potato, really, isn't it?
No. Because Anthony was shocking. In fact, I will tell Anthony now because I want to humiliate someone this week because it's usually me. It actually really is usually me. Anthony was the joint lowest scorer last week over both weekends with 10 points, and that is saying something because Shane O'Donnell forgot to predict the midweek games, and he scored 10 points from game week 17 on his own. I did put a message in, and a few people missed it out, but they corrected themselves after my message in the group. Shane O'Donnell never predicted game week, the midweek one, unless I've missed it. I didn't see it in the chat. But Anthony, you predicted two sets of fixture lists, mate, and you also managed to come bottom of the points. So, mate, are you sure? 2-2. Last chance to change it, Chris.
No, I'm going to stick with 2-2.
Well, there you go.
He's doing the Christmas quiz. He's not scared.
I am. I'm terrified. I mean, if you think my footballing scores are bad, you think my prediction in championships are bad, you wait until I do a general knowledge. You'll be asking me a question that's a mathematics one, and I'll say Uganda as an answer on that.
No, we don't go that difficult. It's like TV and geography and Christmas and all that.
See, geography, you just said it right there. That was a foreign language to me. I still say I'm coming
up.
It's a
foreign language to you, mate. What are you on about?
Well, yeah, very true, very true. I mean, mate, I say to my mum, I can't wait to come up and see you over Christmas. No, full well she lives down south, but I still get the expressions wrong because it's just a force of habit. Anyway, speaking of teams,
John, can I just say to you, by the way, you don't really need a swear count from me at half time, but certainly in Brad's post-match rants.
No, I promised to be a good boy from now on. There'll be no ranting and raving from me.
Everybody, his ranting was that bad that I got a warning off YouTube.
I don't think I was rude at all. I think I was flipping honest.
You got more swear words in that 2-minute, 3-minute rant than you had done in the previous 2 or 3 years.
I know, right? It really hurts me. But moving on to say Christmas is a time for giving, Chris, isn't it? They say it's a spirit of goodwill, and you should be more concerned about what you give than what you receive, and that's maybe what Leicester did early, didn't they? Because we're talking Sheffield Wednesday at home to Blackburn Rovers. We gave everything. We gave as much as we could to Sheffield Wednesday without totally embarrassing ourselves by losing to them. But they are at home to Blackburn. Over to you, Chris. Tell me. We don't need to know Sheffield Wednesday's form. We know have they skyrocketed, actually? Has that draw skyrocketed them up the form table? I can't imagine it has.
They're 23rd out of 24.
Oh, well, the great escape is on for the form guide in Sheffield.
Blackburn Rovers have got 4 out of 6 wins. They're 5th in the form table. They beat Birmingham 4-2 after Birmingham had won a game, and they beat Stoke 3-0. I'm sorry, we were awful against Sheffield Wednesday. Not saying that Sheffield Wednesday didn't deserve the point, they did. But we were that awful. You couldn't look at that and go, well, these two teams are either end of the table. And if you did, you couldn't say which was which. But Sheffield Wednesday are going to lose this 2-0 to Blackburn Rovers.
It's locked it in, folks. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, dear, dear.
You see, if I agree with you, it isn't so bad now because you had a good week last week. You had a better week than I did.
This is very true. So, do you want the good news or the bad news then on that?
You are still one of the only, I think it's 4 people that haven't got 100 points yet, and 2 of them only joined this week. So
shut up! Shut up! All right. Okay. Well, Chris, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Just give me the news. I'm big enough. I'm big and ugly. I can take it.
Okay. Well, I've gone for 2-0. I have gone for 2-0.
You say you've gone.
When I say I've gone
for Wednesday, I'm going to get you certified and put away.
Well, you get on the phone because I think that was the start of something beginning for Sheffield Wednesday. I have gone for Sheffield Wednesday to cause the shock of the weekend. I've gone Sheffield Wednesday 2, Blackburn Rovers 0, and I wonder why I'm third from bottom.
Believe it.
What? I'm sorry, hang on. I'm just getting a report coming in. Somebody's just heard that you've gone 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, well, I'm saying the odd peculiar points I've picked up for the seasons have been when you've laughed at me. So thank you very much for my 3 points on that game when they caused an upset and win. Oh, I forgot. No, I changed my mind. No, I'm not having 2-0 Sheffield Wednesday. No.
You've locked it in. You cannot
4-0 Blackburn. No. Oh, for God's sake,
No.
Anthony. Anthony, grow up. Copy someone else's homework, will you? Oh, dear. Oh, well, very contrasting predictions. And now we move on to that's the most sense I've made in this whole entire show.
I agree totally with everything you said then.
I know, right? Now we go on to
Anthony's saying you got some points wrong. I'm not sure whether he's joking or...
No, you didn't, mate. I've checked the points. I've done yours right. You only got 10
I think
points.
he might have been joking then. Never mind. Let's move on. Sheffield
Anyway.
Wednesday 2-0 he's gone for.
Sucks to be me, I guess. Now, the stuttering Saints take on the confusing Cardiff, because I couldn't think of another word beginning with a C to describe Cardiff without swearing.
Yeah.
So, Southampton, not exactly winning big when they are winning recently, are they? They stuttered against Huddersfield. They kind of did of us, didn't they? They couldn't score more than one pass to struggle inside and were made to pay for it late on, just like we were on Wednesday against Wednesday, funny enough. They got a victory at the week at the midweek, but it was only scraping by a 1-0 win. And Cardiff upset everybody pretty much in the predictions league when they beat Preston by 2-1. And I think they won at the weekend as well. I could be wrong. Or were they on?
To West
Oh,
Brom.
yes, they succumbed to.
Sorry, they lost to West Brom. Yeah.
Ah, right. Well, that's maybe forgivable with West Brom's form, and as our very, very detailed, shall I say, guest on the preview show. Go and check that out if you haven't already. After this one, we'll tell you
your cousin from the West.
Yeah, my long lost cousin from West Brom. Something along the lines of he waffled on to the point that we found out they were conceding 0.27654,962 goals a game, shots a game, very statistical. But Southampton, like I said, stuttering in the form books. I think it's only fair that I cause you such grief and amazement and astonishment with my last prediction that you should go first. Are the Saints going to stutter over the line and get another win here, Chris? Or are they going to stutter to a surprise?
Southampton are going to just walk it, to be honest with you. Second in the form table, 4 wins out of 6 and 2 draws. They did draw against Huddersfield last weekend. They did struggle, like I said. They beat Bristol City, Anthony, 1-0 at midweek. But they are, like I say, second in the form table. But they haven't lost in 6, which is a surprise because Southampton started well and then fell away. And then they kind of lost one lot. They were sort of, they couldn't decide what they wanted to do, win regularly or lose regularly. Cardiff, meanwhile, are sitting 8th, but they've only lost 2. I mean, they lost, like you said, they lost to West Brom, which is kind of understandable at the moment. But they did lose to Norwich. But it's at Southampton. It's cold down on the south coast at the moment, bloody freezing. I tell you what, I looked out my front window earlier and I saw a couple of monkeys chasing the ducks down the road. It was that cold. That was a joke, by the way. Yeah, no, maybe
Could have fooled me.
Yeah. I've gone 3-1 to Saints.
You've gone 3-1 to Southampton. Well, I too have backed Southampton to win this game, but I did take into consideration that they've been a bit low scoring of weeks and the last recent few results. Like I said, 1-1 against Huddersfield, 1-0 also at the midweek. So I have actually gone for another 1-0 Southampton because I just think they've been struggling. Whilst they've been winning games, they're kind of on a bit of form that we were at the start of the season, Chris. They're scraping by and getting the job done, which is all you can ask for, especially in this division. It's all you need realistically to get yourself in that top 6. Is to oh, for fuck's sake, Anthony, stop copying my fucking. I'm going to remove you from the group so you can't copy my answers. For God's sake. I knew he'd go for them to win because they're a team that play 50% in red, so it was bound to happen. But for God's sake, oh well, that's another point lost.
Can I just say, I would, if I was you, Brad, I would actually, at the end of the show, double check what he sent over to you. I think he might just be pulling your leg a little bit.
I think he might be because I just don't think he wants the embarrassment of being bottom
I bet he
of the
checked.
points
I
of the
bet he
week.
checked that he's not gone for any of these scores in the official.
I always do. The way I do it, mate, I go through everybody's predictions and check them in the group. And I say, don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him. I'll start doctoring his results. I'll go on the edit app and edit all his scores to 0-0 when they're all wrong. Now then, we go on to two teams, Chris. The last of the Saturday fixtures. There is only one game on the Sunday, and I believe after the Sunday there wasn't a Monday fixture, was there? I'm hoping not. Nah, thank God for that.
We haven't got
That's
this
fine.
week either. We've just got till next week.
Yeah,
then.
thank goodness for that, for my sanity. Two teams that aren't in the greatest form, to my knowledge. This is where you tell me that Swansea are like third in the form table, and I'm talking rubbish. But Swansea are at home to hapless Huddersfield. I'm getting better at these double barrel conundrums here. Swansea versus Huddersfield. Tough one to call. Both not in greatest forms. They picked up the odd win sparingly here and there, Chris. I'm not going to surprise you with it because I did kind of hint at it early in the show. I went for another draw. I've gone 1-1. Chris, what are the facts? What are the figures? And more importantly, what have you gone for?
Swansea, 19th, won 1 in 6, but that was 4 games ago. They lost a 3-1 to Leeds at the weekend. Huddersfield won 1 in 6, but that was the last time out, and they beat Sunderland 2-1. I haven't said this yet, so I could actually change it. Swansea scored 6. Huddersfield scored 4. No, I'm going to change it. Am I?
He's nothing if indecisive, folks. He's a bit like Leicester. He's consistently inconsistent with his decision making.
I have gone for a draw.
Oh.
And I had gone 1-1.
Then he heard that I went 1-1. Okay, I get it.
Then I did look at how many goals they're scoring, and it isn't an awful lot, less than 1 a game. So I've actually gone for a 0-0, my first 0-0.
It's gone for a first 0-0. In fact, it's probably the first 0-0 either of us has gone through for a couple of weeks.
It is.
To be honest with you. Well, there we go, folks. We've both gone for a draw on the last game on Saturday. So now we move on to the penultimate game. Because if you listen carefully and watch it back, yes, God for that. Now you feel when you realise I've not gone for the same as you. I get it now. I understand it. Now we go to the penultimate game because obviously we do save the best till last. And if you don't know anything about this channel, if the Foxes haven't given it away and the title of this channel hasn't given it away, we obviously have still got the Leicester West Brom one to predict. But before that, we go to the last one of the weekend. In terms of fixtures, it's a Sunday game. It is Bristol City, so Anthony FC, at home to I want to say an indifferent Norwich, but maybe for the sake of their manager and his job, just about turning a little bit of form. I know they threw away a 2-0 lead against Watford, but they have started to pick up wins. They ended a bad run that had sent them from, I think it was just above or just in the playoffs to right down the table. They've had a bit of form to prop them back up, so they are slowly but surely getting back up there against a team that you just despise and hate for sacking Nigel Pearson, and I can't blame you for it. But where have you got this one, Chris? I tell you what, because the Leicester game is one that I'm going to make sure you go first on. I will tell you, Anthony, because I've gone 2-1 Norwich.
Really?
Yes, I don't know. I just feel like Norwich will pull a surprise out the hat here and beat Bristol because, although I say that, Bristol did win their last home game, didn't they? 3-2. So maybe I shouldn't be going against Bristol, but
I am. Yeah, I don't like Bristol because it's that Nigel Pearson, because I've got a lot of time for Nigel Pearson. Obviously, not just for what he did for us, but personally as well. But Norwich, I hate even more because every time they get promoted, they don't back the manager in any sense or way, and then they come straight back down. And it's about 5 because they didn't go straight back up last season. So, Norwich. So, do you know what? Bristol City are 15th, 2 wins in 4 and 1 draw. Norwich are in 17th, 2 wins and 4 losses. No, Bristol aren't scoring goals at the moment, though. But Norwich are conceding them. 13 goals they've conceded. But Bristol have only scored 4, which is less than 1 a game. Thank you for putting that there, Anthony, because I was about to go for that, so I've changed my mind. I'm going to go 1-1.
He's going for another draw. He's a draw specialist, is our Chris. Chris is a draw specialist. Although, to be fair, this week we've both been draw
You've
specialists.
got 4 draws. Let me just say, you've got 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 5. You still beat me in the draws.
No, I've got 4.
You got 5. Preston QPR, Hull Watford, the Desmond for Plymouth. Yeah, see.
Sorry. Yeah.
And my pen has officially, fuck's sake. Give me a second, folks. I'm going to have to go off camera and find a bloody pen. Poxy pens in this house. Die on me on the predictions. Bit like my prediction form. It's just because if I don't get it...
Brad's getting a swear jar for Christmas. He definitely is.
It better come full.
You'll have it full within 2 shows, mate.
That's very true. Apologies for being off camera, but I need to get a pen that's got some life in it and will work, because otherwise it will just piddle me
I've got
off.
a picture of Brad here when he was in his football playing days.
Hey, that's given me credit. I've never had such a good figure before.
Well, I'm going to say you are a bit of an old boiler. Hey.
Oh, dear. Well, like a boiler, I can go hot and cold. It depends on my mood. So here we are, folks. Here we are. The end is near. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. We're at the.
Thank God, says everybody.
Hello, hey. The viewer count went up when I stopped singing, so maybe I should do it more often. We're at the best game, the one that is right above us over there. There you go. Look at that. It is West Brom versus Leicester. I can't pass the pen over to Chris to point to the Leicester badge, but we don't need to. We know we are there. We are there. We are there. We are there. We are there till the bitter end. Anyway, that's enough of my awful singing.
We just lost another viewer. Can I tell you?
See, it had the reverse effect this time. I'll stop. We are, of course, on about a small yo-yoing baggies club called West Bromwich Albion, taking on the mighty Foxes, top of the table. Foxes, the M69 Derby champions, and of course, I always say, Chris, if your local derby isn't named after a motorway, it's not a massive derby. Now then, Leicester's form, Chris. We should know it. Those in attendance that are Leicester fans do know it, I'm sure. It has not been great in recent weeks. How are we going for this?
A bit like a Justin Bieber single. We were number 1 for so long, then we went down to 7th, and now we've dropped to 10th. 50% win record in the 6th. We've won 3, we've lost 2, and we could only draw with Sheffield Wednesday. West Brom, I think they haven't boinged as much as Norwich and Watford were doing. But they lost to Southampton, but they've won every other game. They beat QPR 2-0, Coventry 2-0, Hull 3-1. Southampton 2-1, Ipswich they lost to. Ipswich they beat 2-0, which was a huge surprise. Although Ryan earlier said that Ipswich were awful that night, and they beat Cardiff 1-0. I've started saying this a lot more recently, and it's probably to do with our form. But I am really, really worried about this game. The only other game I was worried about was Leeds, to be honest with you. I'm going to have to say that this worries me as much as, if not more. I can't go for a Leicester win.
Oh, draw number 6, folks.
Yeah,
Draw.
it is going to have to be a draw. I am going to go for my second Desmond of the show, and I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh, he's a draw specialist, and he's levelled up the Desmond shouts between me and him. He has 2 Desmonds on there. Well, I feel some shame. I do. I really do feel some shame. But Chris, in recent times, Leicester have lost to Leeds. They've lost to Middlesbrough. They beat Watford, who, let's face it, only turned up for one thing, to try and keep Leicester at bay and not attack at all. And like Bristol City and other teams before them, they didn't obviously read the rule book on how to play against Leicester, because it's the only team if you play like Watford do, that's the only way we can seemingly beat you at the moment. I think I might need some therapists. I might need some one-on-one time here, because I can't believe what I'm about to say. But Chris, at points in the season, we hadn't lost a game. And then we lost to Hull. And then we hadn't lost away from home. And then we lost to Middlesbrough. Then we hadn't drawn a game. And then we drew Wednesday night against Wednesday. The irony behind that, I suppose, is there for everybody to see. And then something else clicked in my head. Leicester have never conceded more than 1 goal per game. Haven't done it. It's the only thing now that we're holding on to, that if we draw or lose, it's only a 1-1 draw or a 1-0 defeat. Until we play tomorrow, I think, and I can't believe I'm saying it, I've gone West Bromwich Albion 2, Leicester City 0.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I know. But in terms of reality, Chris, I struggle to see how we win the game. And I listened to the
You serious?
And the worrying thing is I've never wanted to be more wrong in this predictions league than I have right now saying this. But look at our recent form, Chris. And I watched. No, it's not even reverse psychology, Nate. I hope it works out to that way. But in all honesty, given our form and watching the preview show last night and listening to that West Brom fan talk about his team and how well they defend and how difficult to break down and how aggressive they are, and I watched the press conference with Enzo earlier, I'm just filled with absolute dread. Look, I want Leicester to win. I want Leicester to win 2-0, prove me wrong, and I'd rather have that than get any points in the prediction league for this game at all. Obviously, I would. But if you're asking me to try and take my fox's head off, my blue-tinted glasses off, and predict this is how I honestly think, going on form, this game could play out, I couldn't even give us a draw. So I hope you're right, Chris. I hope we do get a draw. I hope everybody else that's gone for a Leicester win is right, if they can be as well, and we do get 3 points. But that was difficult to predict. That was hard to write down and post in the group, I will admit. I had to phone my therapist up, and she managed to talk me into doing it. But
good to talk.
Yes, it is.
The only thing that's saving you at the moment from me removing you as anything to do with the channel whatsoever is the fact that Anthony agrees with you.
Oh, well, I can't believe I'm saying this then. Thanks, Anthony.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised. We've lost 3. This isn't going to be as easy as when we went down to League One. We only lost 4 games all season. It's a lot tougher league. There's a lot better teams. West Brom are on fire at the moment. We may be going through our little bad patch. I mean, when you look at Leicester, lost, 1 drew. Maybe this is our bad patch that we're going through. We will find out. And we will find out tomorrow morning, because live from 11:45. It's Match Day Live here on this channel. It includes everything. We have a preview. We bring the team news up, don't we, Brad? We discuss the team news, have a bit of a chat before the game. We have the first half commentary from yours truly. Everybody comes back in at half time. We have another chat and maybe swear a little bit. Second half, we try and hopefully, because normally we won't have scored in the first half, so maybe all the goals in the second half. And then post-match reaction. Like, honestly, if we lose, Brad, I'm just putting you on mute.
For the best. Probably for the best.
I think so. Brad, it's 12:30 p.m. kickoff. Will you be awake? Chris, give him a wake-up call. Don't know his number, mate. He turns his phone off. I don't blame him. I'm actually a bit worried about both of us because both of us are night owls, and I do the bloody breakfast show on the radio at 7. But I'm still not going to sleep till about 3 in the morning. So.
Oh, well, we'll find out. Maybe it'd be a good idea if I sleep through it, and then hopefully you don't have me on, so I can't get you.
We could have slept through that Sheffield Wednesday game, couldn't we?
To be fair, I nearly did listening to it in that second half. That was dreadful, but let's hope for a better outcome tomorrow. Though as you can tell by my predictions, I'm not very helpful for it. But there we are, folks. We have got that to look forward to. Hopefully, look forward to in more senses of the word tomorrow. But as for the prediction show, we are here. We are at the end. The curtain is ready to close. The show has come to an end. It is another prediction show, ready and done. Obviously, as always, because he does hope it is his channel. Thank you, Chris, for always being ready and available and doing this. We have a good laugh. I do enjoy it. Looking forward, like I said, hopefully for more than one reason to do the show tomorrow. The watch with you and my parts want to come on. But as for you lovely people watching in there, I hope you've had a lovely evening. I hope you've really enjoyed the show. And please make sure as you're leaving on your way out, you do hit that subscribe and like button on your way out. And we will join you. Hopefully see you all bright-eyed, maybe bushy-tailed. Some of you may have that for a different reference. But we hope to see you tomorrow morning, nice and eager and early, with a coffee or a beer, depends where you're on the world watching, for the watch along, as the Baggies host the Foxes, and hopefully the Foxes can go hunting for 3 points to redeem their midweek woes. So until then, I'm going to do it to you here, Chris. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Hey, good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.